What is going on, everybody? Steel City DW here. It is Memorial Day weekend, the unofficial first day of summer. Folks are out grilling right now. I can actually walk outside and smell the barbecue going on. Uh, Folks are getting together with friends and family, shaking off the winter blues, and looking forward to ushering in the summer. And you can hear the motorcycles rolling down the street as they head in for the Memorial Day service. In I think a lot of folks have heard of like Rolling Thunder. That's right out here, so it's super cool to hear. And man, the opportunity to kind of get the summer started off right, start planning those beach trips, and get it going. I wanted to do something a little bit different today. I wanted to talk about what Memorial Day means to me. And the other thing I wanted to do is reflect on somebody that I think personally, and it might be a little controversial, deserves to be honored on Memorial Day, but maybe we don't uh, right now. And it's something that maybe is food for thought of somebody that I think personally maybe we need to reflect on for Memorial Day and not just on Veterans Day. So, first and foremost, I wanted to kind of let everybody know if they weren't tracking. I'm a Marine Corps veteran myself. I spent 5 years in the Marine Corps. I was with First Battalion, Fifth Marines in starting in 2003. I enlisted in 2003, went through 2008. First Battalion, Fifth Marines. We went over to Fallujah, Iraq. Served a combat tour there, and that was a challenging deployment just during that time frame. We lost a lot of Marines during that tour, and then I actually PCSed right after that over to First Battalion, Six Marines on the East Coast, and lo and behold, we went right back to Fallujah, Iraq, and not quite as challenging of a deployment, but still pretty significant. We lost Marines during that tour as well. And then my final deployment was in Ramadi, Iraq. So I spent a lot of time in, I think, over a little over 3 years in Iraq over the course of the years. I've got my First Battalion, Fifth Marines sweatshirt that I'm rocking right now, specifically for Memorial Day. And I was combat wounded on my second deployment. Nothing serious. I was shot in the calf, and but today, Memorial Day for me is not so much about veterans as much as it is about honoring the sacrifice of those that we lost in service to our country and those that we lost in service to their fellow humans. And I know that sounds like a very specific way of looking at it, but I think we've got a day to honor, you know, military veterans with Veterans Day, and I look forward to getting together with my friends and things like that on Veterans Day. But today is a day for me to reflect and think about those that I've lost. Make sure that their memory is not lost to the annals of history, and that their stories are shared and reflected to family and friends. And we talk about the laughs and the good times, and of course important to share the tough times as well. I'm really blessed that my wife, she put together a amazing photo album that kind of looks at like pictures from my service. And in here, there's folks that have passed, and we haven't that aren't with us anymore. And it's a good opportunity to kind of sit down, reflect, and learn about that. So the other thing is the flag that's on my shelf right now behind me. It normally sits on the bookshelf, but I've got it up on the shelf today to honor my father-in-law. So my father-in-law, uh, my wife's father, he served in Vietnam. He was a engineer, and he's he served a single tour in Vietnam, and unfortunately, due to things that he was exposed to over during his tour, they brought about great health challenges that impacted him for years and years. He had two heart transplants, and I was really fortunate to be able to not only share stories with him about his service and things that he didn't share with a lot of people, but I think we shared a lot of kindred conversations, right? But also the opportunity to kind of share when he had passed, in honoring him and honoring his service and honoring what he went through with the wounds of war. Um, we brought in Rolling Thunder and or the what is it the Patriot Riders who honored him with you know a salute, and then we had also honored him specifically with a they did a bugler that was brought out for him to honor the family with a flag and things like that. It was really really a great opportunity for me to be able to thank him for everything that he had done, and recognize that he needed to be honored, and it meant a lot to me. So um so the opportunity to kind of memorialize him on this day means a lot to me. So I think that there's also somebody, and we're here for the cards too as part of the conversation, that maybe doesn't fit the traditional mold of who we would honor on Memorial Day, a day that is typically reserved to reflect on those that we've lost. But I think Roberto Clemente deserves to be in the conversation for who we honor on Memorial Day. Um, for anybody who doesn't know, and I think most folks are tracking, Roberto Clemente served in the Marine Corps Reserve from 1958 to 1964. I think at one point he was known for being able to do 58 pull-ups, which I'm during my service I was lucky if I could get 20, but he was in it, and I think a lot of folks are tracking this as well. He was killed in a plane crash, delivering aid to earthquake ravaged Nicaragua, um, providing food and resources. And the plane that they were on had crashed over the Caribbean Sea, and we lost one of the not only greats of the game, but just an absolute great human and humanitarian. So why do I think that Roberto Clemente deserves to be honored on Memorial Day and not just on Veterans Day? Here's why. So one of the foundational missions of the United States Marine Corps is disaster response, disaster recovery, and providing security and stability for aid workers to be able to bring in resources and capabilities to earthquake ravaged, hurricane ravaged locations. And Roberto Clemente, when he was killed in the plane crash, that's exactly what he was doing. Now, was he in service at that point in time? No, he was not in traditional Marine Corps service. He had gotten out in 1964. But I believe that the foundations of what caused Clemente to decide that he was going to serve and continue his service were built during his time in the Marine Corps. And I believe that when he was providing that aid, that they were flying down there, that was his opportunity to continue to serve. Now, so I think that even though we didn't lose Roberto during his actual military service, that that he deserves the honors of being reflected upon and honored on Memorial Day. Um, that's my thought, and I'm really interested in what you all think about it. And you won't hurt my feelings if you tell me, nah, man, only reserved for those in current military service that we've lost. I get that. Um, but I want to hear what you guys think about it. And more than anything, I want everybody to have a safe, reflective, thoughtful, but also fun. Just get out there, have some fun Memorial Day, spend time with family. If you're going to the cemeteries to reflect on somebody that we've lost, know that I'm there with you. I support you, and always reach out, because I know that the wounds of war, um, while they get better, they sometimes don't quite heal. So thanks for watching. Thanks for spending time with me, and I'll catch you next time. Steel City DW out.